these first 17 door opener awards were fantastic, but we realized we kind of had two folks who stood head and shoulders above the crowd. So we actually sat down and did some math. And when we totaled up the cumulative referrals since we started and in the pipeline, it turned out we had to give two super door openers this year. Stand up and hold them, Tony. Now, this is why, because I have to say that between Peter Temple and Lou Titai, it's $10 million each. Is that super? So tonight we have the Super Door Opener Award. There you go. Now, gentlemen, I would like to ask you to come to the podium to receive these awards, but I also would like to make a pitch. If anybody needs great carpentry, Matthew Roberson and Jim Bream made our door opener awards. So pretty darn good, right? Uh-huh. And actually, if Andy, if you would also like anybody elected officials, we have some commendations too. So now is your chance to come on stage, and it's only going to be for a moment. So Peter and Lou, would you come on over to get your door open awards, and you can say whatever you would like, okay?
But there's also these.
Oh yeah. I don't know how you're going to do this, gentlemen. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. You get something with the door opener. Okay, so we couldn't help ourselves. All right? Lou and Peter have been graciously volunteered to go around and talk to other CPAs and attorneys and things about opening doors to philanthropy, so we had to have the right attire. We also got ties and socks, all right? So you both get them, but if you don't mind. We'll save those. Would you like to say anything? I would. Okay. We'll save those. It's kind of tough, isn't it?
I'll be brief. You've been subjected to my comments over the years from this podium in the past. I'd just like to say that I've been lucky enough to be on the board since 1996 with 2 years of vacation. And there is no finer group of people that I've ever worked with that are on the current board. We have a door opener, which is a cute gift. I'll be a hero for my 5-year-old grandson, Sam. I can't wait to show him. But you need a structure to have a door to open. And what Karen and Beth and Bob and Stephanie do, and the other members of our group, is without parallel. I know for a fact that whenever I'm lucky enough to be able to encourage someone to talk, Chester County Community Foundation, Karen gets back to them like this, and they're clear and they're cogent and they know what they want, and it's been a delight. I've said this before and it sounds hokey, but it's such an easy sell to say, why don't you talk to Karen or Beth? It just works out so well. I've enjoyed it tremendously. I remember what Bill Gallagher said to me when he took over as the chairman of the board, that this is the finest, best-run organization in Chester County, and I agree with that. I also like to thank our chairman, Tony, and Kathy Dean Bradley and Mike that are coming in to the leadership roles in the future. And I very much appreciate this. It's one of the hallmarks of my time here in Chester County. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Never been one lost for words. It won't take a lot of time, but this is an opportunity. The Community Foundation is really very, very important to me and my family. This thing about getting emotional, so just bear with me. But, the door opener award is really a great honor, but as Peter said, it really is easy. In our world, in what we do, we advise clients about estate planning. Clients get worried about that term sometime. They don't really say I have an estate worth worrying about or whatever, but really every person's estate is important. And what I decided to do about 10 or 12 years ago now is, after getting involved with the foundation in a pretty substantial way and chairing the board, I decided to take a twist in terms of how I approach the meeting with the client, the initial meeting when they're talking about their wills. And instead of just starting with, like, how many kids do you have, and do you have any kids at all, or whatever, where do you want your estate to go, I decided to put a spin on it that was a little different, because I really felt strongly from my own personal experience that I really felt good about giving. It just feels better when it happens. And so what I do is usually talk to the client first about, not about their family and their demographic, as I call it, but I ask them, how do you want to be remembered? Or, like, what things are really important to you other than your family? Like, what causes have you engaged in? And it's amazing, because almost uniformly that ends up in a very, very interesting discussion for maybe the first 20 minutes. And it really sets the stage for the family then starting to think about a couple things. One, philanthropy is important to me, my church, my school, my hospital, the Cancer Society, whatever, the homeless shelter. But not only that, but they want to tell their kids about it. And that's what really, I think this door opener is all about, because it's really, as Peter said, very simple to get it started. And once it starts, it's amazing what happens. So I've been really enthused and encouraged by that. I've also been inspired by my own wife. Who's chosen in her retirement to take on causes that are really important to her. I didn't introduce her to this group in Philadelphia that rebuilds houses in very, very difficult neighborhoods, but she does that on her own, and Lord's Pantries, Safe Harbor, and things like that. But I really get inspired by that. And my sons, I'm hoping that Jeff, who is here tonight and is our chef, he and his twin brother Ryan will take that very, very seriously as they move on, because we've created just a small little acorn fund here. But they know how important that charity is to us. So my message tonight is first of all, thank you to Tony and to Karen and to the board for recognizing us. There's so many people that could get this recognition. I want to thank people like John Featherman, Bill Gallagher, my partners. We taught me early on that philanthropy and community service is really a part of the practice of law that's critical, and we try to instill that in all of our people at McElry. So I just am really, really just amazed that this happened. I'll close with what I use this quote from St. Francis a lot, so forgive me for drawing on one of my saints, but when you leave this earth, you cannot take with you anything you received. Only what you've given. Thanks. Thank you.
Did you want to say just a couple words, both of you? Come on over.
I
Just
promise
a
there'll only
couple.
be a couple. Which, yeah, no. There is the story of the person who saw poverty around them and hunger and homelessness, and in anger said, "God, why don't you do something about this?" And God responded, I created you. So ultimately, each of us has the power, each of us is granted certain gifts to change and make a better world. And I'm happy to present this citation from the Senate of Pennsylvania to Peter and Lou, who have heard God's voice that He created them. And they've gone out to make Chester County a better world. and have followed in the tradition of our Quaker founders. And it's my pleasure and honor to present them on behalf of the Senate of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania this citation. Thank you.
Yes, good evening. If there's one thing I've learned in my relatively brief tenure as mayor of Westchester, it is that the only way to build and retain a strong, vibrant community is to give of ourselves, to give of our time, to give of our money, but most importantly, to give of our expertise. And this is a prime example of two gentlemen who have done so through so many years and done such wonderful work in this community to ensure sustained charitable giving. So it is my honor as mayor of Westchester and as representative of this fine community to present these two citations to both of you. Thank you very much.